It's Charlie from Daily Motor, and today we've got the sound system demo of the 2022 Chevy Bolt EUV and its 7-speaker Bose audio system. This is going to be an in-depth review. We're going to take a look at how the infotainment system works, take a look at audio inputs, adjustments, controls, speaker locations, then we're going to head out on the road and listen to these sample tracks while we're rolling, and I'll give you my thoughts at the end. Now if you don't care about any of that stuff at the beginning, you just want to hear the music, click ahead in the video. We've got chapters to get you right to the tunes. And if you're tired of hearing the same songs week in and week out, sign up to become a Daily Motor member. There you can hear member-requested tracks, kind of some behind-the-scenes footage, and help support the channel. So if you're interested, check the link in the description. Before we get started, let's hop out and take a look at it. All new model for now, I suppose, the Bolt EUV. Not to be confused with the Bolt EV. Very similar, but this one's a little bit longer, giving you some more room in the back seat. If you do want to see more on this car, check the links in the description. It's actually exceeded my expectations. I expected to like it, but over this last week, I've very much liked it, so you ought to check it out if you're in the market for some sort of electric vehicle. Now, we always do these tests with lossless, uncompressed WAV files on a USB stick plugged directly into the system, and high-quality Roland binaural microphones in both of my ears, giving you the most realistic audio system demo on YouTube. And I highly recommend wearing headphones so you can hear what I'm hearing in both of my ears. We also do the test with the sound settings set to their factory defaults, so let's take a look at those now. Really a fan of this infotainment system here in the Bolt EUV, especially this Premier model. It's very large, it's good resolution, and look how responsive it is. Good angle as well, built nicely into the dash. I really have no complaints with this system. If you do want to see it more in depth, check the link in the description for our infotainment review. Here's the media screen. Let's go up to sound, very easy to get to sound settings. You're greeted with bass, mid-range, and treble. Let's go through those now. I want to point out how easy and quick it is to adjust these. Look at, I mean, it's like immediate response and very intuitive, very easy, nicely done. Other than that, you've got fader and balance, front, rear, left, right, and that is it for sound adjustments. So no sort of Bose center point. We're not dealing with the center speaker in this car. Very simple, but effective. Audio controls in the new Bolt EUV. You've got a volume knob right here. It's kind of tucked behind the steering wheel, so you can't see it when you're driving, but it's there. It's decent reach. It's a little far of a reach for the passenger, and it's kind of shallow as well, so you sort of gotta get a good grip on there, but it's got clicks. Then you have volume on the back right of the steering wheel. For track selection, you have a few different options. If you're in the now playing screen like this, you can use the touch buttons there. You can kind of use this rotary knob. It's a little bit more for browsing tracks. As you can see, it brings up an entirely different sort of screen, so you could go into folders and maybe choose a song from there. So it's not exactly a seek button, but you do have track back and forth on the left side of the steering wheel for your left hand. A little disappointed not to see a physical seek button on the system, but not the end of the world considering how good it is from the touchscreen. Audio inputs in the Bolt. You have your standard AM, FM, Sirius XM satellite radio, some streaming services including Spotify, and I know there are others that you can download from their app store. You have USB-A and USB-C support up there. Bluetooth, wireless and wired Apple CarPlay, and that is it. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and that is it. What does that mean you're missing? Well, there's no 3.5mm auxiliary input jack, but not many people are using those anymore, and I think these are plenty of good inputs here in 2022. Speaker locations. As I said, this is a 7-speaker system. Starting in the bottom left, you've got a door woofer, tweeter up there, 2, 3, 4 on the other side. Coming into the back seats, you've got probably a mid-range woofer combo there, 5, 6 on the other side. Open up the trunk, and you are greeted with a subwoofer down here. I don't know if we'll be able to really get to it. There, you kind of see it's buried way up under in there, but it is in there. Okay, if you want to see demos on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, check the link in the description. But we're going to get this stuff put away and get out on the road. positioning of the speakers in the Bolt EUV is pretty good. What they really messed up on is the tightness, or rather the lack thereof, of the bass and most of the rest of the sound. In this song, and especially those more bass-heavy songs, but even this one, you get more complicated sort of music, it's sloppy. They just threw bass at the problem. They said, hey, let's just put a subwoofer in there and let's make it rumble a lot, and then people will think it's impressive. It's not. It doesn't match the recording integrity of the song. I've listened to a lot of different music testing the system out. It's not impressive. It doesn't sound accurate. Certain songs you can turn it on and be like, ooh yeah, it's got some bass, it sounds good, it's punchy. But it's sloppy. Speaking of that, this next one, we'll turn the bass all the way up, see what happens. I'm not expecting distortion, I'm just expecting a lot of rattle and mess. So even this, on flat EQ, it's quite strong. Already flopping a bit. It's hitting in the door woofers a lot. I'm surprised the rear subwoofer isn't doing more. Yeah, doesn't sound fantastic. Whoops. On the 7-speaker Bose system here in the Bolt EUV Chevrolet. These are the type of systems that give Bose a bad name. And if I were Bose, if you're listening, Kevin, ditch these cheap systems. Find a sub-brand name with which to brand them. Think about Bang & Olufsen and then B&O Play. Whatever agreement they and Ford worked out, where Ford was like, okay, we want these Bang & Olufsen systems, but Bang & Olufsen rebranded to have a cheaper brand called B&O Play, and then that didn't tarnish the name reputation of full B&O systems. With Bose, you can build amazing systems, even in GM cars like the Corvette, or you got really good systems like in the new Civic, for example, but then you have some of these cheaper systems, like in here and Nissans, and that's what people get the most exposure to, and then they think, oh, Bose is trash. Bose isn't trash. Bose can build excellent systems, but this isn't one of them. It's borderline D, but it's getting a C. It's about a C minus. The main reason it's not getting a D is the spatialness is quite good. You hear elements of your song float in front of you. It's a nice placement in front. And to me, the Ford Maverick is a solid D system where you can almost hear directly where sound's coming from out of each speaker. This has an okay amount of power. It's just sloppy. It's not very engaging for more complex music. I bet you the bass Bolt would be a D system. Thank you so much for watching. If you do want to see more on the Bolt, check the links in the description. I do really like the infotainment system, So the car has a lot to offer, just not in the way of sound quality. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. I'm Charlie from Daily Motor, and as always, drive on.